Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, we're very serious, and we're glad to be back because we had oral surgery on, and it wasn't very fun. And I had that done yesterday, so that's why I was nowhere to be found yesterday. But I am recovering. Don't have time for all this. We have too much work that needs to be done. We're living in these times that the Bible said would come. And we've got to get people to Christ because apparently the Antichrist is lurking in the weeds, or is he? Or is he maybe holding lunch in Rome? Well, let me just tell you something right now. First of all, I'm going to put a shout out for www.pastorpaulgold.com. That's www.pastorpaulgold.com. Or you can call him at 877-646-5347. Here's the hard truth. Every 6 years, your dollar is losing half of its buying power. That's not good. Half of its buying power. Yeah, that means $100,000 savings account today in 6 years will be worth $50,000 at the current rate in the loss of the dollar and inflation. And you'll see it every time you fill up your gas tank, buy groceries, or pay bills. Prices are up. Your dollar is down. So there's a simple way to protect the value of your savings with something real, something proven. Gold. That's right. An asset that holds its value over time. That's why I can trust www.pastorpaulgold.com over at Noble Gold Investment, because they make it simple to protect your savings with the physical gold or silver. Gold, a biblical currency. There's no high pressure of sales. There's no call centers. You just get honest advice and guidance. Call them. Tell them where you're at in your situation. Tell them what you're trying to do, or you don't know exactly how to diversify. Let them help you, okay? And they've been great friends of our ministry, Christian company. I tell you, that's where you want to go. Check it out at www.pastorpaulgold.com. And tell them Pastor Paul sent you there. All right, now, here's the deal. Oh, and don't forget, just real fast before I get into this, we're doing that $35 special. Your love gift of $35 or more. I'm going to send you these two. I'm going to send you Signs of His Coming, and before the book was written, there was Revelation 9/11, the DVD. I taught on both of these. Unbelievable, guys. Both of these, you get them both for your love gift of $35. If you go to my website at paulbegleyprophecy.com, go to the store, you'll see it. It's right there at the top. Click it, get it. Let me ship it to you. Let's get it. And I want you to learn all about what's happening, the signs of His coming, and Revelation 9/11. All right. So here's why I'm saying, what's Macron doing? What is Macron up to? What? Well, I can tell you exactly what he's up to. It's incredible. It's incredible. But Dr. Irvin Baxter, and I talk about this in my book, Revelation 9/11. When I was interviewing him for a television show back in 2018, I asked him the question who he thought, did he have a clue or did he have an idea who the Antichrist might be? Who was he watching? He said, well, I have a top 10 list. And I said, okay, can you share? And he said, let me just tell you who's number one on the list. I'm not saying he is, but I'm going to tell you who's number one, and I'm watching him. I said, okay. He said, Emmanuel Macron of France. Now, this was 7 years ago. And he said, I'm watching him close. He fits all the qualifications, and he is hungry for power. Well, now, you guys know every time there's a peace meeting or some type of gathering, Macron is always there. And sometimes he's in control of it. Right now, he's the head of the EU. Right now, he has a high position in the United Nations. Right now, he's getting ready to hold a meeting on June 2nd in Saudi Arabia with Arab nations to proclaim, to draw out, to try to present to the world a two-state solution for the Middle East, for Israel. Are you serious? For the Holy Land? And right now, he's been in Rome meeting with key cardinals who are going to be voting in the conclave, trying to choose who the Pope should be. This guy's trying to pick, this guy's trying to play God, I think. Well, let me just say, why is this important? Well, read the Bible. If you read Revelation chapter 13 about the Antichrist and the false prophet, you'll start to understand the connection and the collaboration that those two have and the power to control the world. Let me read something. Here it is. This came in today. Macron's accused of interfering in the papal conclave, according to reports coming out of Rome. French President Emmanuel Macron is attempting to influence the upcoming papal conclave in favor of the French candidate to become the next pope. Several conservative Italian media outlets are claiming this. Why? Because reports begin to emerge following meetings between French leader Emmanuel Macron and several different cardinals electors, as well as the leader of the influential Catholic movement ahead of the conclave set to determine France's successor. Macron had lunch with 4 out of 5 cardinal electors of French descent, including Jean-Marc Aveline. This is the guy he wants. Jean-Marc Aveline, the Archbishop of Marseille in France. Last Saturday, on the sidelines of Pope Francis's funeral, Emmanuel Macron last Friday also had dinner at the restaurant in Rome with Andrea Riccardi, the head of the community of the Saint Ignado, a powerful Catholic association with more than 70,000 lay members in 74 countries, in which reportedly has a lot of clout over many members of the upcoming conclave. And according to the Italian daily Tempo, the French leader asked these cardinals about ways to build a consensus around Jean-Marc Aveline. That the outlet said that the cardinal, who is considered a contender to become the next pope, an ultra-European, anti-sovereignist, in other words, he's more communist, and he's one of the most liberal members and cardinals of the conclave. So this French cardinal by the name of Jean-Marc Aveline is being handpicked by Emmanuel Macron to be the next pope. He's trying to persuade the leaders who are involved in leading the conclave into help to build a consensus around Jean-Marc Aveline. And Jean-Marc Aveline is a very ultra-European, of course. He's anti-sovereignist. In other words, he is more communist in his ideology, and he's one of the most liberal or woke members of the conclave. Now, the Daily also reports is saying, described the meeting as an example of interventionism worthy of a new Sun King, in an apparent reference to French's 17th century King Louis XIV, who sought to influence the election of the Pope through French cardinals. This has already happened before in the 17th century. That King Louis XIV tried to persuade the conclave then to make the next pope French. Another Italian newspaper is saying they're directly, called the Lafayette, is directly accusing Emmanuel Macron of seeking to choose the next pope. The LC Palace did not officially comment on the agenda of the two meetings, but the community of Saint Indigo denied the allegations, telling the Le Monde on Thursday, the newspaper, that Macron seeks to understand the process, not influence it. Why would you need to understand the process, Emmanuel Macron? Everyone understands the process. There's 135 cardinals that are eligible to vote. If you're 80 years old or older, you can't vote. You have to be under 80. There's 135 that can vote. They start meeting on May 7th, the conclave. It's a secret ballot. They burn the votes each time they vote. The smoke goes up. If they don't select a pope, the smoke is black. If they finally agree on one, the smoke goes white. What part of this do you not understand? I'm not even Catholic, and I understand that. Are you serious? Are you serious, Emmanuel Macron? Or are you something else? Everybody wonders about the 666. Everybody wonders about who's the Antichrist. Everybody wonders who will be the false prophet. Everybody's got an idea about everything. But when you keep showing up at all of the major key meetings, you start to wonder if this globalist agenda of Emmanuel Macron isn't more than what meets the eye. And is that why the late Dr. Irvin Baxter, who I think was one of the most brilliant biblical scholars and spiritual insight men I've ever met in my life. I'm not saying he was right about everything. I'm not even saying I agree with everything that he believed, because I didn't. But I know this much. He heard from God, and he put this man number one on his list. Now, that doesn't mean that that's who this guy's going to be. But I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of power in who becomes pope. And if the world starts to try to influence that position, that means that then what they're supposed to do, where they pray and they have God direct, gets left outside of the walls of the Vatican. We're going to have to watch this closely. And while that's going on, guys, there's got the guy there's all kinds. Did you notice something? Let me just say this. Look, I'm not Catholic, okay? But what I'm going to say is you have 1.2 billion Protestant Christians, and you have 1.2 billion Catholics, all of which are believers in Christ. So the Pope of Rome obviously holds a very powerful position on the world stage. There's no question about that. But here's the situation. What you have to wonder sometimes in these end times, when the Pope died, ever since he died, these Antichrist guys start popping up. The guy in Syria all of a sudden acts like he's the Assyrian in the Bible, in which you need to study who is the Assyrian. Find him in the Isaiah. You'll find him in Micah. You'll find that he rises up. He tries to make peace with Israel, but then he smacks Israel, and Israel has to drive him out. He might even be considered the Antichrist in some circles, okay? And then then we got this guy that just come out of nowhere, this Mahdi guy, which, oh, by the way, this Mahdi guy actually went to Purdue University in Indiana. What? And he's an American, but he has an Egyptian mother, so he has citizenship in both America and Egypt. He went to Purdue University, so he was in my backyard. I didn't even know he was there. That's how I'm always dealing with I'm always dealing with these apocalyptic antichrist situations. I'm always dealing with the apocalypse. Everywhere I go, the Mayan calendar is going to end on my birthday, December 21st. Had to deal with that for a while. Emmanuel Macron's birthday is the same as mine. I got to deal with that for a while. Now you got the dude coming up, act like he's the Mahdi. He's saying he's the next Pope of Rome. He's saying he's the Mahdi. He's the next spiritual leader. He is the one, the chosen one, and all of that. That dude went to Purdue. He was in my backyard 2 miles from my house. I didn't even know it. Yeah, I mean, this kind of stuff just freaks me out sometimes after a while. You know, I get on a plane. I'm headed to Israel, and there's an earthquake. It hits Turkey while I'm in the air and kills 50,000 people. Bombs flying when I was there. A lot of this stuff I wonder about how in the world I stumble into this stuff. But or am I being directed by God to be alert and aware and be a voice of a vessel? Somebody just has to cry loud and spare not. I don't know. But, oh, by the way, while that's all going on, speaking of the guy in Syria, Israel yesterday, of course, I was not able to get in front of a camera. Israel bombed in Damascus, real close to the presidential palace, sending a message to the Syrian, if that's who he is, Ahmed Sharara, that which he was a terrorist, guys. Now he's trying to be the de facto leader of Syria. But people are popping up everywhere. Cult leaders, Antichrist type guys, false prophets. I mean, they're bouncing around everywhere. And then you got the big players like Macron. And so we're going to have to keep an eye on this whole process. If Jean-Marc Aveline gets chosen as Pope, everybody better watch out. But then again, what if Pietro Parolin, or in other words, Peter, who lives in Rome, Peter the Roman, he's actually from Italy and has been in Rome 30 years. If Peter the Roman gets chosen, then you got to ask yourself, hello, that's a prophecy from 1390 by St. Malachi. What if that happens? Then what? Or if Emmanuel Macron's guy gets in, then what? So I'm watching a lot of stuff. We'll see what happens. One thing's for sure, the Bible will not be wrong. The Antichrist will rise with great power. And I'll even read for you what it says. And by the way, and that's why I wrote the book Revelation 9:11. That's why I did the DVD before I even wrote the book on Apollyon coming out of the bottomless pit. And I'm making a special for you. You can get both of these. Just go to my website, and at the top where it says store, click on the store. It takes you right there. You can order these right then. I can get those shipped out to you first thing next week. Now, let me just say that this is what it says in the Bible. In Revelation 13, I'll start reading. Listen to this in verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea. I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy. So it's an Antichrist kingdom. All right? Now, there's a lot of blaspheming goes on, but it starts to talk about, verse 3 says, and I saw one of the heads as it was wounded to death, and the deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. It has 7 heads, okay? And they gave worship, and they worshiped the dragon, which gave power to the beast, and they worshiped the beast, the Antichrist, saying, who is likened to the beast, and who's able to make war with him, okay? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies. And power was given unto him to continue for 42 months. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. This is a global leader, a one world leader, the Antichrist. And he's blasphemous, and he hates Christ, really. But he's a deceiver, and he has this miraculous power, supernatural powers that he uses. And all the world dwelled upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. So if there's any believers on the earth, they will not worship him. But if any man have an ear, let him hear what is said. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth the sword must be killed with the sword. Here's the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast. So you got two of them here. He exercises all the power of the first beast before him, and he causes the earth and them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. So he is the false prophet causing the whole world to worship the Antichrist. And he does great wonders also, so that he can make fire come down from heaven on the earth and in the sight of men. And he deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound by the sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So they will execute people because if they do not worship the beast. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And here is wisdom. Let everyone that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600-3score-6. Yeah, I don't like sharing my birthday with Emmanuel Macron. And I didn't like sharing my birthday with the end of the world, the Mayan calendar. But I do love sharing the fact that I've been washed in the blood of Jesus Christ and been made a child of God. Are you people serious? Are you serious? Have you been to Jesus for the cleansing power? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Are you fully trusting in His grace this hour? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Turn your volume up. In the blood, in the soul cleansing blood of the Lamb. Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Oh, yes! Are you walking daily by the Savior's side? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Do you rest each moment in the crucified? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Or are you washed in the blood, in the soul-cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? And be washed in the blood of the Lamb. Come on! When the bridegroom cometh, will your robes be white? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Will your soul be ready for those mansions bright and be washed in the blood of the Lamb? Or are you washed in the blood, in the soul-cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Now lay aside those garments that are stained with sin and be washed in the blood of the Lamb. There's a fountain flowing for the soul unclean. Oh, be washed in the blood of the Lamb. Are you washed in the blood, in the soul-cleansing blood of the Lamb? Are your garments spotless? Are they white as snow? Are you washed in the blood of the Lamb? Glory! Are you serious? All right, I'm very serious. Well, I'll be back with more important information or some things that are happening that are key to what's biblical prophecy. No doubt about that. So I'll be back right here on the coming apocalypse.